Good evening, my friends. I hope all of you are having an awesome, fantastic day. I am on a mission because today I get to ask a few Walt Disney Imagineers some pretty tough questions about the Star Wars Galactic StarCruiser. I have so many questions. I know you guys have questions. Hopefully I can answer most of those questions in this video. It's going to be intense. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm ready, and I hope you guys are. Let's go do this.
Hi there, I'm Ann Morrow Johnson. I'm the executive producer and creative director of Star Wars Galactic StarCruiser. And I'm so excited to be able to share the Halcyon StarCruiser with you today. And so this is the ship that guests will get to spend 2 days and nights on board in a galaxy far, far away. So here we have kind of the front hammerhead of the ship, and this is really where you see most of the public spaces where our guests will get to hang out. So right here in this corner is actually where the Sublight Lounge is, where our guests can have, fancy cocktails from across the galaxy, and also might be where our smuggler character hangs out and see if you want to prove your mettle. Here at the front of the ship, we have the bridge. You can see the windows facing out to the front of a galaxy far, far away. Our guests will actually be able to come up and man the controls here so that if, say, we were to wind up in a space battle, you can be the one blowing up the TIE fighters at the front of the ship. In this central space is the atrium, and this is really the heart of the ship, where our guests can gather and, kind of see different stories unfold as well as take part in the action. Lower in this hammerhead of the ship, you find the Crown of Corellia dining room, where guests will eat 3 meals a day, as well as the lightsaber training pod, where guests will actually get to be able to wield a lightsaber. We also have some sort of secret parts of the ship where they're supposed to be crew members only, but enterprising guests who are able to hack into the system might be able to find themselves in the inner workings of the ship. As you move back down the ship, you can see each of the different portholes of the cabins for each of the guest accommodations. So each of these windows does look into a cabin, and just as we are looking into the cabins, of course each of the cabins looks out into the galaxy far, far away. So you've got an ever-changing view as we go from planet to planet and cruise throughout the galaxy. The rest of the ship is primarily engines that, are helping us cruise through space and are primarily crew member only spaces, but are all part of bringing together this overall ship that is an entirely new character for us as part of the Star Wars galaxy.
Hi, I'm Melanie Bronstein. I'm one of the marketing strategy managers here at Walt Disney World Resort, and we're going to talk to you about Star Wars Galactic StarCruiser. So Star Wars Galactic StarCruiser is a first-of-its-kind vacation experience where for 2 days and 2 nights you get to really play a role in a Star Wars story in this completely first-of-kind immersive experience.
And then my next question, can you discuss prices a little more clearly?
Absolutely. So we have some sample price points posted on our website at StarWarsGalacticStarCruiser.com. The thing to remember, those are starting at prices, so that gives you an idea, and those will vary depending on what your party makeup is, right? So how many people you're bringing with you to stay in your cabin, whether they're adults or children, and really what your voyage dates are will all make that price point vary. So Star Wars Galactic StarCruiser will be booked as a holistic vacation package. So what that means is included in that package are things like the accommodations, so your cabin for this 2-night adventure, and then everything that happens on the StarCruiser itself. So think of all this entertainment, these character interactions, all of these cool missions that you'll go on. Also, your meals are included in this. So we have help yourself breakfast and lunches, and these amazing, lively multi-course dinners for while you're on ship. And then there'll be a quick service entitlement to be able to dine in Disney's Hollywood Studios while you're doing your planet excursion to Batuu. Additionally, our guests will be able to receive an exclusive data band known on Earth as a magic band, for those that might not be familiar. As well as when you arrive at our terminal, we want to take care of you from that first moment. So we have a valet parking service that is also will be included in this package for your group going on this adventure. Are you allowed to go do other things? We really want to immerse you in the Star Wars story and have you fully experience that. But if you do want to leave that, there's nothing to stop you from doing so. So if you want to go enjoy something else in Hollywood Studios, you are absolutely welcome to. Just don't miss that last transport back into the galaxy to go back to the StarCruiser.
So will you have multiple times throughout the day to get to and from, or is it just like one or two specific times?
They'll be running throughout the day. So you can go kind of back and forth to from the StarCruiser in space, right, down to the planet of Batuu. Yeah, so if there is no smoking allowed on the StarCruiser, but you are able to go back to Earth at any time you wish to take care of whatever you may need to. So during your adventure, really your choices really influence how your stories unfold. And your group or your family might not all make the same choices. So if there's someone, dad, as you said, as an example, may not want to go, to accept an invitation to do something, that's perfectly fine. You can go your different directions, you can regroup and compare stories because it's very likely different things will happen. And multiple options for kind of how you can take in that story and see how it unfolds. You are more than welcome to hang out in your cabin and experience what being immersed in that part of space travel is like. Or we have a really cool lounge, or just wander around the StarCruiser and kind of see all the things that are going on around you about other people accepting those invitations to go do things.
Hi, I'm Alex Wright, Creative Director with Walt Disney Imagineering. I'm here to talk to you about Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So this is a new attraction that's coming to Epcot next year, 2022, in our World Discovery neighborhood. And so the story that we have going on here is that the planet of Xandar, which is featured in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, has come to Epcot, and they are presenting themselves to us much the way some of our countries around the world showcase might. They are here to build a community and make connections across the galaxies and build a better future together. So it's a very kind of a Epcot story in that way. They welcome us into the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion and tell us about their people and the planet and their culture and especially their advanced technology. So that's a stepping off point that gets us in. As you make your way through the attraction, eventually you're going to find your way to our ride experience, and this is takes place in this Omni Coaster vehicle that you see behind me. This is something that we developed for this attraction specifically so that we could take some of the capabilities that we've had over time in our Omni Mover attractions of orienting our guests toward the action in a story that's playing out, or to control them as the camera kind of moving through the scene. In this case, we wanted to bring that same capability to a high-speed thrill attraction. So here we can do all those same things, rotate the vehicle toward a show scene. We can extend a scene to a duration that wouldn't be available to us on a typical roller coaster, a traditional roller coaster, and turn you away from sightlines that might not be favorable, things like that. So it really kind of pays off on the excitement of the Guardians world, and it's a great new storytelling device for us to bring you into that adventure. In terms of the level of thrill that you might expect, we are describing this as a family thrill attraction, and we hope to offer this to a very wide range of ages for whom this would be available and appealing. It's, as you can see, the restraint system. If we were to peg it in terms of intensity, it's probably a little bit more than a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, a little bit less than a Rock and Roller Coaster. We really tried to kind of find a nice sweet spot in between so that, as I said, most of the family is able to enjoy it together, and because we know that the Guardians stories are going to be appealing to that broad range of people.
One of my specific questions is, can you explain what a reverse launch will be like?
Right. What that means, so because of the capability that's afforded by the Omni Coaster system, we are able to turn the vehicle around in a reverse. And this is not something we're doing just for a thrill quotient. This is in service of our story, and when you get on the attraction, you'll understand why that is. This is another one where I would say it is reverse launch, meaning the vehicle is pointed toward the rear, and you are moving backwards in the launch. but it is a somewhat more gentle build-up in that launch than what people might be expecting if they're comparing it to something like a rock and roller coaster. It's not that.
Can you say how long the experience may be?
We're not talking specifics about that at this point, but I will say I believe it's going to turn out to be a very satisfying experience.
Great. Thank you so much
Sure
for your
thing.
time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Richard Terpstra, graphic designer for Disney Merchandise, and I'm here to showcase and highlight some of the merchandise we have for our 50th anniversary. So with our 50th anniversary, at Disney we really love to tell stories, and we really wanted to continue that story to help celebrate the 50th anniversary. So what we did, in order to encapsulate everybody and give something for everybody, we decided that we would create collections. So I'm going to walk you through some of our collections. Now, our first collection is the Castle Collection. We really wanted to showcase and highlight Cinderella Castle, because it is the thing everybody thinks about when they think about Walt Disney World. So we really created this sort of soft look. The castle's kind of rendered in an watercolor style, and you see some of that iridescent that you see in our castle decorations sneaking its way into this collection. One of my favorite things are these ears that I helped create, because the swirl pattern actually mimics the filigree swirls that are on the bunting of the castle, but we did sort of a modern version. And then product development took that design, put it on this amazing airband, and then it lights up, which is so amazing. So it's very soft, very adult-oriented, sophisticated, but also a little fun for those who love Disney. And then our next collection, which hasn't been released yet, it will be released later this fall, is our iridescent collection. So here at Disney, we really love doing collections based on color stories and color palettes, because a lot of people express feeling through color. So we created this collection that really showcases, again, that iridescent. It's really all about the logo and interesting, cool treatments to the clothing that maybe hasn't been seen before. So moving on, we have one of our largest collections, which is the Celebration Collection. And this collection really encapsulates everything. It has our favorite characters that we love. You see icons from the whole resort. We have the amazing Mickey-shaped soap dispenser that's really popular. I'm so excited that's here for the 50th. It's really fun and playful. It's very energetic. This is the kind of collection you get and your whole family wears because you all love Disney and you're coming here to celebrate the world's most magical celebration. And then our next collection is the Vault Collection, and the Vault Collection is really sort of inspired by two different things, replica and repurposed retro. So some of the items you see here are actually real replicas. We worked with the archives in California in acquiring some vintage assets that then we developed from the ground up. And then other things we did is we sort of repurposed the retro. So this t-shirt up here, for instance, this yellow t-shirt, this graphic was originally on a sticker back in 1971. And we thought, well, that's a really great sticker. Why don't we put it on a t-shirt?
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's the really fun things. The hat is amazing. Another original from back in the day. This shirt I really love. This t-shirt back here was a really simple shirt, but this was one that they sold when Park opened. And then what we did is we snuck the idea over back into Celebration, and we did a modern version with the modern castle and the modern logo, and you can see it on this bag with Minnie right here. We did the same layout. This turret is an absolute 100% replica of the original. They nailed it. And then this salt and pepper shaker and the castle bell is another classic. And then lastly, we have our Luxe logo collection. And this collection is sort of our elevated collection. This is where you're going to see higher end treatments, fabrics, and things like that. And we also wanted to kind of go with more of a subtle look. So you're a Disney fan, but you don't want to scream Disney fan. So you have monochromatic, but then this is like flocked. So it's a little elevated, it's just not screen printed. And we did go a little extravagant on the hats. But the hats are where you make the statement.
Absolutely.
So especially when you come to the park, because they really, I think each hat says something about its wearer. And then we have these earbands, leather earbands with the velvet bow, and you see the gradient gold sort of sequins that look like pixie dust that fade down. Super amazing, comes in an amazing collector box. And then of course we have a few more samplings sort of this leather cap with the embossed pattern that says 50 and has the castle, but from far away you really couldn't tell that was Disney.
Thank you so much.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, how are you? I'm Kelly Van Arsdal. I'm Manager of Dining Standards for Disney Cruise Line. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Of course. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about our 3 dining experiences on the Disney Wish. So this here, we have 1923 restaurant. A couple of items I want to point out. So we, of course, everything we do, we try and, infuse as much of our Disney culture as we can. So if you look here on the plate, we have the little hidden Mickey. The 1923 itself, the name comes from the year that the Walt Disney Company was founded. So very little tidbits of information there. So a lot of this restaurant is going to, it is our more elegant restaurant. The menu itself is going to be inspired by the California fusion cuisine. So really we're going to try and go for that fresh, nice and fresh, and just all the flavors of that area. Of course, going back to Walt's roots. A couple other things to note, throughout, and you can see a little bit here on the backdrop, but this is, this restaurant is really going to bring those golden years of Disney and the magic of animation to life. So guests are going to be surrounded by hundreds of props that are going to show them just, more almost like back to the working studio that Walt had. Okay, so here we are at Worlds of Marvel restaurant, and this is a first of its kind experience. It's really going to transport guests into the heart of the Marvel cinematic experience. So this here, I want to point out, it's the Quantum Core. And this is just one example of the many things that this great, exciting, very experimental technology will do. So for those of you that are, followers of the Marvel series, it's from PIM Technologies, and the guests are going to have the opportunity. There will be one on every single table, and the guests are going to play along. So Ant-Man and Wasp are going to do some really fun and really crazy things with this, and you just never know what's going to happen with it. Some other items to note, we have, we've really tried to bring the whole Avengers and Marvel experience to life. So you'll notice even in our flatware, we've got the little A, we've got the, the tablecloth with the textures. And this menu is going to be inspired by some of the places that Marvel's famous for. So the African Wakanda, Sokovia, and then of course the Avengers home base of New York City. So you're sure to find some really exciting menu items within, within just a few of those areas. So now we are here in Arendelle, a frozen dining adventure. So this is a first of its kind for Disney. It is a theatrical dining experience, and it was very purpose-built. So, it was built with the fact that it's a great dining experience, but we also wanted to make sure that we set it up for, with the lighting and the stage and just the ambience of the room, that theatrical experience was there. This menu is going to be based on some, Nordic-inspired cuisines. It's actually picking up where Frozen 2 lets off. So as you know, in Frozen 2, we're going to be celebrating Anna and Kristoff's engagement. So our guests are going to be invited to their engagement party. And that's really where the story is going to pick up in this great location. We do have, the crocus plays an important part in the movie. We've got some, little nods to the silhouettes, which you'll see, decor throughout the room. And again, just everything that really brings you, the Frozen to heart. So as with our current ships, we are going to be, featuring our rotational dining again. And the great thing about rotational dining, so basically you as our guest, you're going to go to each different dining room, but the greatest thing is that your service team is going to follow with you to each dining room. So, you get to know everything about each other. You really get to know what the children like to eat. If mom likes that, extra sugar with her unsweet iced tea, it's really just one of those, it gives us the opportunity to build those relationships and have fun throughout the dining meal. Our guests tell us all the time. We have guests crying in tears when they're saying goodbye to their dining staff when they leave, on that debark morning. So it really just builds that great relationship.
So I am Farron Kelly. I'm the Vice President of ESPN Wide World of Sports, Disney Water Parks, and RunDisney. And I am thrilled to say that RunDisney is back. Starting with the first weekend in November, our Wine and Dine Half Marathon, which will have our half marathon distance, our 10K, our 5K, and of course the 2-course challenge. Then right around the corner, and we might take a look at the medals in just a second, the Walt Disney World Marathon. And I'm so excited about this because this is really leaning into that 50th anniversary. It has all the distances you remember: marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K, plus the half marathon, Goofy challenge. And if you run all 4, the Dopey Challenge medal. Now, the challenge is not only in the distance, but it's getting up early enough to run those races 4 days in a row. That's the real challenge, if you can do that. Then following that, we have the Princess Half Marathon, which celebrates all those great qualities that you see in princesses: dedication, tenacity, courage, everything that the princess has that the runner needs to make that happen. Again, our 2-course challenge with our marathon, or our half marathon, our 10K, and our 5K. And then following that, we've got a race we have not announced the theme for yet. It's our springtime surprise. And I can tell you when that news comes out, people are going to be very, very excited and run pun intended, to be a part of that tremendous race. So as I said, Run Disney is back. We could not be more excited. It is going to be the best year as a part of the 50th celebration. So the Walt Disney World Marathon in 2022 is going to be super exciting. It is the one that we're really leaning into the 50th celebration, and the biggest way, or one of the biggest ways I should say, is with our fabulous finishers medals. So let's just go down the days here. We start with our 5K featuring Pluto, and it's got the little spinner there that goes from the 50th to the 5K. The little feature I love on this one, if you see Pluto in the park with his name tag, these are the words on there. If found, please return to Mickey Mouse. You gotta have that medal. You gotta run the 5K. All right, we're gonna go all the way over here. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, hearkening back to that great heritage of the Walt Disney Company, one of Walt's first characters. This is for our 10K, so Oswald there, and then running Oswald, running right towards Spaceship Earth on that side. We're gonna go right next to it with the half marathon featuring Donald, and also this year featuring Daisy with one of our spinner medals. Over here, for the big main event, we've got the Walt Disney World Marathon race, also featuring Minnie and Mickey, who has been our ambassador for the marathon now for over 25 years. For those folks that say, hey, I'm gonna run the marathon, I'm gonna run the half marathon. Well, years and years ago when we first did that, we said, that is the goofiest thing I've ever heard of. So you get the Goofy Challenge medal. And who would not wanna get that medal, right? You know what? If you really wanna get crazy, and I maybe even a little dopey, you run all four, and for that person, it is the ultimate Dopey Challenge medal. 4 days of races, 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, and just look at Dopey, man. He is the OG runner guy. He's got the medals on the eyes. This is probably the greatest medal I've ever seen.
Yeah, I would agree. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Come out and run with us.
I ain't feeling lonely, and I wanna admit it's time to end the ride. Fading it too slowly, with those gonna lift me up this time. You were the only one who got me tripping up inside.